Back in the year 73, a man named Marvin Zeiss walked into a grocery store and he saw a pile of blueberries and he was like, wow, those look blue. Hey, sir, do you mind if I take a photographic image in my mind of those berries so I can remember them later? He was denied his request and beaten over the head with celery sticks. But that propelled him, something inside, to create the Zeiss brand that we know and love today. Well, they're gone. They're disappeared. Let's talk and cry.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
I'm wearing Zeiss blue. It's not even close to the blue, but I'm in spirit with you, Zeiss. So DP Review has released yet again another article. I think it was just a publicity stunt, them going out of business. Oh, please help us. Oh no. Not 1 second was lost in the whole they're publishing reviews. They just wanted to fire everybody and hire much cheaper workers. That's all we know for sure. They released an article saying Zeiss denying that they're leaving the photography industry. Zeiss's answer was so panic-stricken that I think there was a boardroom meeting and then they sent the dumbest guy out there to talk to the warlords. I saw the meeting. Well, thank you for sitting down with me, Mr. Zeiss. There's rumors floating around that you are no longer producing lenses for cameras. Is this true? Are you leaving the photography industry forever? What? Are you serious? You think we're leaving the photography industry? This is what we do here at Zeiss. We love photography so much. Have you seen the micro contrast in our lenses? You think we'd give that up? How would we make money? You're ridiculous. There was a wiki leak, and it showed that Zeiss no longer filing for patents since 1912, and you're gone. I've seen the sex tapes. Zeiss is no longer making anything. Come on, don't pay attention to the news. This is ridiculous. You know where I just was? I was just overseeing a lens being made for photography equipment. That's where I was just now. Where have you been all morning? It's ridiculous. We're totally making lenses, like a lot. But your last lens release was 2019. You're clearly out of the industry altogether. You haven't made one product. The only thing you do is for smartphones. And you said in the statement yourself, most professional photographers prefer using their smartphone nowadays. You're clearly leading into a new era where it's only smartphones. Is this breaking news? You're misreading the statement. What I meant was that I love cameras so much and that sometimes I bring a smartphone with me as a backup. It's a backup plan. It's in there. It's in the pocket. I love bringing out the big heavy gear, though. That's what gets the real stuff. But, like, that thing in the pocket, that's for calling, like prank calls and stuff. Here's the reality. If Zeiss leaves, I'm leaving the industry myself. I cannot even fathom a world. Zeiss lenses up there with Leica, maybe some Voigtlander in there. There's a couple companies who just do things so specially. And it's their older lenses. The older, the better. They're only getting worse. To think that Zeiss would leave us with like Samyangs and stuff in the future. Imagine if I switched to a non-Zeiss related lens. Right now, you're witnessing Zeiss magic right now. 3D pop, there's some. There could be some. Let's switch to just as good, something new, non-Zeiss-like. Oh, goodness. Disgusting. Oh, what is this? What happened to my show? I had some dignity, and now it's vanished before our eyes. Are the colors even the same of my linen shirt? I wear linen now. So we're now on the SLR Magic 12mm Tony 1.6 because no one will buy it. I'm trying to sell the thing off to a traveling group of gypsies. Nobody will touch this lens. Not even one message. It's been up there for months. Zeiss leaving would be very fitting of our times because everything's just getting worse and worse. So like, why would Zeiss, a company with character and dignity, want to be a part of this collapse of our field where everything just is reverting back to like the first time we ever made something, like we have learned nothing about anything of what we do. I, for one, do not accept your request to leave the photography industry. It's clearly a booming industry, one of the most popular. People love carrying around big, heavy things. I much prefer this to something like completely unusable that. Oh, it's slim. I'm a slim fit shirt now. I love that ND filters come with like clunky things and you can just remove them. You can't until you take the screws off, but once you do, you just take these screws and then you can change that. I love the weight. It's like front heavy. It's like, oh, leads you into like a better shot. It's like, where should I go? You just hold the camera. Oh, and then you like fall into good photography situations. And it's clearly not dying. It's not dying at all. This shot is so un-Zeiss-like that I am willing to film myself on a Sony camera, unfirmwareless, with a Zeiss lens at least. Let's switch it up a notch. You know, Zeiss is the only reason that I stay with Sony, because they have like the best lens. If it was just Sony lenses, zero 3D pop, what would keep me in that universe? Nothing. It's like Zeiss magic. That's the why Panasonic has some potential to stay in business for another at least 8 months, because you could get Leica lenses and then you're like leading life. Panasonic S1H2 with like a Leica. I haven't even looked at what they have, but it doesn't matter because they're Leica. Whenever I see Zeiss on something, I'm like, that must be good, unless it's anything new. The ZV-1s and the ZV-1-2s. But it was on my X3000, little Zeiss thing. That sold me. I was like, yeah. What did Zeiss even do in that thing? Anything? I think they just spilt their milk on it or something. They have a coating and that's it. You took it into the office, like, whoops, just put Zeiss on. Zeiss milk. I don't know, man. Just as a little side experiment. Modern Zeiss versus ancient Zeiss. Is he better? Blackmagic 12-bit RAW, Zeiss 35mm 1.4. Whoa, manual focus, giant thing, versus the modern, modest 55mm 1.8, but on full frame. Speed boosted, versus me, that could be interesting. Color science, I feel like a reject in the face area. Sony, you suck. I mean, not that we've gotten anything new from Zeiss in a long time, but that would suck. An icon of the industry leaving. And then who's gonna make lenses from now on? Like these companies coming up, like the Chinese manufacturers who make like that Miki company. Okay, you made some somewhat sharp lens, but no character to it, no pop. How come nobody's copying the micro contrast way of life? That's what I don't understand. Simple element counts, the old vintage touch where you're like, wow, look at that. I'm in the image. Try to take me out. I will scream. Whereas like they're just going for Tony 0.95. Oh my God. All we know for sure, Samyang produces green fugly faces. Tamron has no desire to even live. Just plastic bodies, zero 3D pop, zoom ranges that what is that? Who asked for like I want an 11 to 14 of 2. I do want that. Are you making it? I won't buy it if it's Tamron branded, unless it's a Nikon rebranded Tamron. Yeah, we got all the Chinese manufacturers, the 7 artisans, TT artisans. Oh, we're different, we promise. Just, what are you doing? Stop. They're just copying. They buy a lens, probably used from Zeiss or something, then they reverse engineer it, and they're like, what's on that? Okay, let's scrape off a bit of the front element. Okay, there's fluorine and milk. Okay, we'll just make, what's the ratio? They never do it right. They just copy the lens formula, and it's like a machine, a soulless, conveyor belt type of thing. Just robots, AI, no soul. Where's the heart? What's that loud? The reality is Zeiss's role in smartphones is not paying off visually. I don't see it. Smartphones still look cheap and over-sharpened. I don't know what they're shooting for with 50 megapixels and a tiny sensor. It's like we're getting further away from anything respectable, and it disgusts me to be a part of the industry, and I will be tattooing Zeiss on one of my bum cheeks tonight in hopes that that lures them back. And if it doesn't, then whatever. It's time well spent. And I'm going to leave now. That will suck. No Zeiss lenses. Imagine, like, we get all this Sony a7S5. Oh no, no firmware updates. Oh, damn it. And no new Zeiss lenses to match the 15K that we're getting. It's bullshit. So, whatever. Sony G lenses. Yippee-doos. 24mm 2.5. Thanks for that. I'm going home. Who won the battle today? Somebody? Nobody. We all lose. When Zeiss leaves, we lose. Subscribe for more videos, Buy the linen shirt at a local value village near you.